Hi, everyone. Welcome to this new episode of our Student Spotlight series, where we are able to showcase some of the work our past students have done. I'm Charlotte, one of the outreach coordinators here at CCIR, and it's our pleasure today to have Akhil with us, who did our one-on-one mentorship. So firstly, Akhil, can you just give us a brief introduction? So tell us where you're from, what year you are in school, and then what your academic interests are.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Akhil Konduri. I'm from India and currently I'm living in Kuwait studying in the American International School. And my academic interests are in computer science and energy research.
Okay, great. And then what made you seek out CCIR?
CCIR offered this all-in-one opportunity that let me go through the entire research process, and that really interested me as I wanted to further my skills in computer science, and I wanted to get a real understanding of what this field would look like at a high academic level in the future.
Great. And then as a one-on-one student where we design the entire course around your specific research interest and kind of general area of interest, what can you give us a general overview of what your course was about and kind of what you looked into and what made you decide on that topic?
Yeah. So I had the pleasure of working with Dr. Robert Roos. He was my mentor, and throughout the process, we brainstormed different ideas, and it was really helpful as we got to dive into a bunch of different topics and explore how they can be addressed through computer science. And once we settled on a topic, we delved into deep research, reading a bunch of papers, and Dr. Roos was very specialized in the field we were tackling, which was energy management. So I got a lot of insights on how that works and how research in that field is right now happening in 2025. And then we delved into the code of it, and we spent a few sessions working on the code. And at the end, we got to write a really interpretable paper that focused on the impact of what we've done.
Great. Can you go into a little more detail about, what you learned about, what your research topic was?
Yeah. My research topic was essentially optimizing different energy mixes in countries. So every country has an energy mix, which is a distribution of different energy types: solar power, coal power, nuclear energy. So my project was using non-dominated sorting genetic algorithms, which is a form of machine learning that tries to optimize each of these energy mixes, tries to get the best solution that adheres to different policies that countries are considering right now, such as cost or emissions or land area.
Interesting. And did you have experience with this subject or this topic in school before starting CCIR?
Not much. I've taken some computer science courses just to learn how to program, and I've been really interested in the energy and the sustainability topic. So I've taken a couple of extracurriculars related to that, but nothing as deep as really diving into both of these topics at the intersection of them. So this was my first experience like this at such a deep level.
Great. And then now we'll discuss your research in a bit more detail. So can you walk us through what your research methods were in your process of collecting and analyzing data?
Yeah. So the process of research, first of all, it was collecting background research. So what is the state of the field looking like? And we essentially found out that different models have been used to program different countries' energy mixes. But the main thing we found was that there was no all-encompassing general baseline view that would give policymakers different looks at trade-offs. So once we had that problem set in mind, the goal in mind, the problem we wanted to solve, we went into the data analysis, and we used different open source common data sets that are widely used in the field, from Copernicus and the Climate Data Store. And we got solar energy data, we got solar irradiance, and we got the wind speed for different countries. And then through different sources, we extracted data for tidal range and different countries' energy parameters and their land area and general statistics about them. And we had to process them using different libraries in Python, such as we used Dask and we used Xarray. And then especially we used this uh, program called the Country Mask, which is essentially a program that places the mask of a country of the world map on top of the data set, and then it creates little outlines. This is a very baseline level. It creates little outlines of each country, and it splits apart the data for each country, so we can analyze each country individually and speak about their results.
Interesting. And can you walk us through your findings?
Yeah. So applying the model, we focused on three different configurations. One is a balanced perspective where policymakers would try to minimize every single objective they have, such as emissions and land area and cost. Another configuration we looked at was a low cost, where we prioritized the low cost over all others for several countries which are in deficit. And then we had a low emissions cost, especially as sustainability and the SDGs are so important nowadays. We focused on that. So using these three different configurations, we found many different trade-offs in different countries, and the results gave really country-specific results. For example, India, due to its large electricity demand, had trouble keeping up with all the demand. And that's why it relied heavily on solar energy and nuclear energy to help satisfy its demand. And this is why its cost was higher than other countries. But if we look at a case such as Kuwait, it doesn't have as high of a demand. So the model was able to adapt to that and suggest an energy mix that was adhering to Kuwait's policy goals. So the results were essentially a baseline for policymakers to analyze different trade-offs across countries and how best to plan energy mixes in the future.
Interesting. And what do you think, were there any conclusions you made in terms of kind of the best way forward for specific countries, or was the idea just to create the model for future use?
Yeah. So for each country, we tried to essentially find an optimal energy mix that both adhered with current policy goals and previous studies, but also showed a new way forward by providing different statistics on what the cost goal should be, what the emission goal should be. So theoretically, all of this means that policymakers can take this and use this as a target, theoretically optimistic target that they can use in the future.
That's really great. And it seems like it can be a really great resource for people both in the general public as well as policymakers, to kind of, know what your country's doing and how you might be able to get involved. That's really great. And then to move on to your general experience with CCIR, what do you think your experience was like in the program doing a high level research project like this as a high school student, especially given that you said this was kind of your first experience with this specific topic?
Yeah, this experience, I think it's been uh, really insightful and transformative for me. Especially under Dr. Robert Roos, he was very knowledgeable about the field, and I got a lot of different insights on what work he's doing now and what his plans are as he's a high-level researcher at Cambridge. So I got to learn about what are the latest advancements being done in the field, and I got to make my small contribution out of that by delving into the field and trying to explore on my own. So it really gave me an overview, a look at how I can further contribute to the field of energy management and how further in college I can take this up as well.
That's really great. And then how do you think the research process and experience compared to papers or projects you've done in the past?
This was actually my first project, so I got a really nice look at how I can write a paper, and it was really helpful as well as I'm in the IB program, and this paper really helped me understand how to write a paper for my other IB projects. And Dr. Roos, he was really helpful in the CCIR team as well in helping me review my paper and make sure that it follows all the guidelines that an academic paper is supposed to follow. And I think it was a really great experience.
Great. And then can you walk us through kind of what was it like having access to such a niche course compared to high school or even many undergraduate level courses that are much more broad? What was it like being able to have access to a course that's so specific as well as a mentor that has such specific expertise in the area.
Yeah. I mean, with really like broad or general courses, you only get a look at the theory and how you can learn the theory for different real world applications. But with this project, I really got to apply a subset of machine learning and computer science into a field I was really interested in, which gave me a much more deep understanding of how computer science worked compared to just getting a general understanding. So I think now, even if I try to learn a different aspect of computer science, this research methodology that I went through will be really applicative, like towards everything else that I can do in the future.
That's really great. And then kind of moving on from that, do you think this course is giving you any insights into your future? Has it maybe informed or shaped how you think of your path moving forward at all, either in university or professionally?
Yes. Before the program, I wasn't really sure what energy management was. I had an interest in sustainability, but I wasn't sure exactly where that was. And with this program, um, I found a subfield which I see there's real potential in here, and especially what I can offer and what I can learn in university to help contribute to this field has really captivated me, and I hope I can pursue this in university as well in some form or manner.
That's really great. And then my last question for you, what would you say to someone who asked you what the value of doing a project or a program like this is, especially for a high school student?
Yeah. Doing a project like this, it'll be really different from what you do in school, as you'll be delving way deeper into different fields. And for me, especially, it was an intersection of different disciplines that I enjoyed. So I got to really explore what professionals in the field will do, and it was a real insight into how high school will prepare me for the future and what college will look like as well. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you. That brings us to the end of our Spotlight series. Thank you so much for chatting to me and congratulations again on your nomination.